Hello everyone, this is Wrestling Discussion here. Please like, subscribe, all that stuff. So, CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Raw, January 6th on Netflix. I feel like we've been waiting for this match for well over a year now. This match has been building since the CM Punk return back at Survivor Series 2023. Right, we've been slowly building towards this feud, this program, and I'm very curious how it gets booked moving forward, right? Because I think right now, CM Punk is meant to be a babyface. At least he's been booked that way. And Seth Rollins has been booked to be a babyface for a while now. I think in this feud, Seth is meant to be the heel. Not a full-fledged heel. Perhaps just a temporary heel for this program, right? Because he's the one that's coming off as bitter, angry about the past, unable to move forward. Sort of similar to the way Drew McIntyre's been booked the past year, right? But Seth has only really felt that way about CM Punk. And to an extent, he feels that way about Roman Reigns, but mostly about CM Punk. Right? That's the way Seth is sort of acting right now. Which I think, in my opinion, and just my opinion, puts him on the heel side of things in this feud. Just by a little bit. He's not a full-fledged heel. Maybe they go that direction, we'll find out. Now, it does lead to some interesting possibilities, right? Because CM Punk has that favor from Paul Heyman. And maybe that favor from Paul Heyman is to have the bloodline help CM Punk win against Seth Rollins, thus putting Seth Rollins back further at odds with the bloodline, the OG bloodline. But that would be a little bit sort of difficult to pull off, right? Because Seth Rollins is friends with Jey Uso and Sami Zayn. And so why would they go along with any favor to screw over Seth Rollins? Even if it is a favor Paul Heyman promises CM Punk, right? And that's what makes it sort of a hairy situation to tell. Because you really don't know. There's so many ways this could go. This feud's very intriguing. Because I feel like, as I said right now, I think Seth is on the heel side of things just barely, and I think CM Punk is on the babyface side of things just barely. And you could easily have some sort of situation where Seth drifts further to the heel side, along with Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens, and that works, right? And they form this super group against the OG bloodline. You could definitely go in that direction, and that's not a direction I would be surprised to see them go in. But, if CM Punk uses his favor with Paul Heyman to somehow screw Seth out of this match, or if at the Royal Rumble CM Punk uses this favor to somehow screw Seth Rollins out of winning the Royal Rumble, well, honestly, that should make CM Punk a heel if he's doing something like that. Even if he's on the babyface side, manipulating a favor like that to screw Seth to win the Royal Rumble and get to WrestleMania. Doing something like that should push him to the heel side. Now, would he be a full-fledged heel in booking? Yes. Would the fans treat him like that? We don't know. Could it be a polarizing sort of reception? Very well possible. And that's what makes it so intriguing. That's good booking. When you don't know what's going to happen, when it's not obvious to you. When there's 3, 4, 5 guesses on the table, and you're sort of trying to guess which way the wind is going to blow based on your, experience, based on your fandom in wrestling, that makes it interesting. And it's the way booking should be. For the most part. Right? I think it's okay if a booking decision is somewhat obvious. Even, but it doesn't have to doesn't mean it absolutely has to go that way. It's just based on your experience. You know that there's a 99.9% chance it's probably going to go this way. You know, we all had a very good feeling, I think, that Cody was going to defeat Roman for the title at WrestleMania 40, but you didn't know for sure. You know, it was 99%, 99.9%. There was always that 1% or 0.01% chance that Roman would pull it out. But I think for the most part, you know, a lot of fans hate when booking becomes obvious. But that's bound to happen, right? You know, you look at Lord of the Rings, for example. You know that Frodo is going to get the ring to Mount Doom, and you know that Sauron's going to be defeated. You know, if you're an old school Star Wars fan, eventually there has to be some final confrontation between Luke and Vader, and the Empire has to fall. You know the bad guy has to eventually be defeated at the end, you just don't know when or how. And that's the challenge with wrestling, right? Because you don't want it to be just sort of predictable, but you know what's going to happen eventually, and that's okay. That's okay. You know? You know the good guy is eventually going to win at the end, or you know a good guy is going to eventually win at the end, and you know that that bad guy is eventually going to lose. You just don't want it telegraphed. One, you don't want it telegraphed, you don't want it obvious, and two, you want to get a good story out of it. And so far, Punk and Rollins have provided a good story. And it's just my sort of take on things that Seth is on the heel side and Punk is on the babyface side. But it's one of those stories that it's not black and white, it's real shades of gray, because, you know, CM Punk, the character, isn't really necessarily acting like a good person. Not at all. He's just acting in his own self-interest. But he's doing what every normal pro wrestler would. He's doing things to get himself closer to a title, get himself closer to that main event at WrestleMania to build up his own career. That's what a normal professional wrestler would focus on. If you were an athlete in that sport, he's doing what you would be doing. Trying to better his position, trying to better his place. Seth is the heel because he's bitter and resentful over the past. That's a heelish quality. Similar to what Drew McIntyre is doing. And as I said, Drew McIntyre is doing it in a broader general sense against the whole bloodline, against CM Punk, against anyone who's ever wronged him. So far, Seth Rollins is just doing this over CM Punk, which is why he's not a full-fledged heel. So it's going to be interesting to predict. Right now, I predict that CM Punk somehow gets the win in this first match. I do. I'm not sure how. I feel like Seth Rollins winning it. I don't know. Depending on how Seth wins it, you might risk losing a little bit of heat in the feud because Seth gets his revenge. He gets this demon extracted from his soul, as he put it in the interview on Monday. So right now I'm predicting CM Punk wins. Whether or not it's with that favor from Heyman and the Bloodline, we don't know. And that's an intriguing factor of it. But that's all for this one, guys. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Thanks.